Okay, so today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship, and the very cover page that you see is of a very young entrepreneur from India. I'm sure everybody's aware about Ritesh and how he incepted this organization and went on to make its largest hotel chain across the globe. So I'm going to talk about what is entrepreneurship and how we become an entrepreneur and what are the fundamentals to it. Next, I will also tell you a few traits that a person needs to possess or have in order to be a good, successful individual or an entrepreneur. So, very simple question. Who is an entrepreneur? I believe somebody who can solve a problem or can provide something which is essential for life. Yes, anything which is problem solving or essential for life. If that service or product can also become can also be commercialized in future, that becomes a part of business. And when you are able to solve a problem and make money out of it, generate revenue out of it, when you're able to provide an essential service and make money out of it, there you become an entrepreneur. It's very simple. I'm not going to talk talk literature over here over the entrepreneurship. To make it very simple, for a few examples that I'm going to quote to you people, I have, listed some of these brands over here. If you can see it, Facebook for that matter. I remember reading about Facebook long back, and I got to know that once even Mark Zuckerberg stood up in his dorm room and started speaking and saying that one day somebody will connect this world to people. People will be easily communicating with each other. I think that was the vision. So at first he thought of actually solving a problem where people used to face in communication. So Facebook went on building FaceMash, and later on it became Facebook. You can read the history about it. So what you see here is there's a problem that is being solved. Even in the case of LinkedIn, if you see that LinkedIn is also connecting people, but in a different way. On Facebook, you connect casually, you talk casually, you share blogs and trips and everything. But in LinkedIn, your prime focus and your prime agenda is to connect with people professionally, which can benefit you and your business or the work you are in. Similarly, you have Instagram solving a problem, so people can easily blog, in a very short content. Now, coming down to Quora, you understand that you can ask questions. There wasn't a really legit portal where you can go and ask questions. But in case of Quora, you go, write your questions, and you have some genuine people. When I say genuine, I mean people who are a bit learned or people who are enthusiasts or have some knowledge. They come and answer your questions. It has helped me at times. So, these people are actually serving a purpose. It wasn't started earlier with the motive of doing business. At first, they thought of solving a problem. So, my friends, if you think that you have something which is a proposition for you and it can solve problems, then you can become an entrepreneur, and it is for sure. I think that's where your vision goes. Now, if you come for entertainment sector, you see Netflix in my presentation, Amazon Prime in my presentation. Now, most of you will say that it is something which doesn't really solve a problem or which isn't an essential part. So, my dear friends, I'd like to tell you that Netflix at first and Amazon Prime at first have actually solved a problem. Earlier, when you used to come back to your house, you used to watch movies or any series. But now, while you're actually traveling, you can easily watch whatever you wish. Plus, the content here is not limited. Netflix solves the problem of content selection. Here, all you have to do is go for the section, movies, series, or whatever, comedy, cartoon. Choose what you want to watch and watch it easily and while traveling. So in a way, it is solving problems. So earlier, it is a platform which is solving problem for people to get entertained even while traveling. Later on, it has actually become an essential part of our life. So I think when you have to categorize, you can categorize it this way, that Facebook actually went on solving problem. Netflix actually went on solving problem. But now it has become essential part of your life. Now coming down to Ola. We all know that Ola is again owned by one of the founder of an Indian citizen. Ola, I wouldn't say initially it was incepted or started, exactly to make it an essential part of their life. But today it is. So again, it was brought as a problem-solving, platform for people. So all you have to do is go on the app, feed in the place where you have to reach, and then you simply get a cab here, at your door, and then you travel from one place to the other. So initially it solved problem, and to some extent, not primarily, but not as a whole, but I would say at some extent it has actually become an essential part of your life. So what I mean to say is that if you have an idea by which you can actually solve problems of people across the country, across the globe, in the society, then you are good to go ahead with your idea. Two more examples that I've taken here: Big Bazaar and DMart. I know many of you would be asking, there's nothing new that I can find or I think of. So it's not necessary that you cannot start anything which is already existing. So DMart actually got incepted by an Indian citizen. In fact, one of the person who invests a lot in stock market. He took this idea from Walmart and brought that same concept with a bit of iterations to Indian market. So two things that you see in Big Bazaar and DMart is that both are serving the same purpose. You get everything in the same place and at the same roof. Now you don't have to go for grocery to a grocery shop only, for clothes to a clothes shop only, for a mobile to mobile shop. So you get all under the same roof. Maybe DMart is actually providing that in the cheapest manner or in the cheapest way. Big Bazaar is providing everything again cheap in cheapest prices. Difference could be the technology that DMart might be actually embracing or introducing for shopping. So all you have to do is go for a product, choose it, it goes into shipping, the bill is generated, you pay by your card and you move out. So there is less human effort in that. And India and marts like that are actually coming up with the same kind of concept. So all you see here is problem solving approach. Now when you solve problem, you make it an essential part of life. So that is why I took these examples. Also, say I am somebody who's running a media enterprise called 99 Plays. Primarily, and my core business happens to be events. Now, I know that there are a lot of event companies existing in the market. So while I was a college student and I wanted to start my own organization, I went on to research about other companies which exist in the market. I could see that there are companies doing really wonderful, like Whistra, the company which organizes more of IFA awards and bigger shows like that. But how do I get in? So I found a couple of opportunities after researching, and I came across the idea of actually getting into the market with very good ideas and in genuine budgets. Yes, you hear it right. I know most of you would be saying, what is genuine budget? So I would say that if you go to a Whistra for a project, and if you're a brand which is, say, I take an example for Galgotia University or any university with due respect to the brands and colleges. But if you go to Whistra, they would hardly be interested in organizing your event because they know that the budget wouldn't be as per their standard. So the minimum budget event that they consider is, say, for example, 1,000 rupee budget. And for an organization like me, I can go ahead with a budget of, say, 500 rupee. Second thing is that Whiscraft would actually consider earning rupees 300 out of that budget. I would consider, say, 150 rupees only. So that's the difference. So one is the cost effective of service that I'm providing. Second, since I am somebody who is new in the field, I would be more enthusiastic in terms of organizing the event in the best way. So yes, that is how I found many opportunities in the market. They gave me work saying that you're young, you are new, and I'm sure you would like to back this opportunity and provide the best of the services. And that is how I got it. So this is the organization that I've been running, 99 Plays. So primarily, I've been into events. Now we have very recently started our production house where we acquired our own elements and made our own inventory to go ahead with. I can talk more about it when questions comes. Okay. Now, moving ahead, since I'm talking to college kids, and I know many of you think this way, that you can't work, this being with my friends. If it isn't there with your friends or with you, well and good. But in my case, I saw some of my friends saying, or even one of my ex-partner, that he started his organization because he thought he cannot work under somebody. So my friends, if you think this is the reason why I should start a company, trust me, you are not the right person to start the company then. You still have to go back and learn. have a vision, and find out what is the solution that you're going to provide for a problem that you might have identified. So if you think you can't work under someone, then that's not the attitude by which you'll be able to go ahead with. That's not what I followed, and that's not what any other tycoon of the world has followed. So do not have this attitude, just throw it away if you think. And why I address this point is because I am still young and I'm not married, and I still meet people with my friends like I'm a college kid, and I get to talk to them, and very openly we discuss points like these. So if this is the point, don't do it. Otherwise, go back, read, study, find a problem which you can solve, and come back. Now, I'm going to talk. When you should actually start your organization. When you can answer these questions, you can certainly start your organization. So number one, if you think you can take risks, yes. If you think you can take risks, you can go ahead with opening of your company, of your organization or enterprise. You will ask what kind of risk. The first thing I will say, we are all, young, you are college kid. You must be thinking after college, you will earn a lot of money, just by starting an enterprise. And I'm sure you have this basic understanding that it's not a cup of tea that you sip and you achieve. So all you have to do is, analyze. So in my case, I really convinced myself, what if my organization doesn't run? What if my competitors doesn't let me perform well in the market or let me grab opportunities? I will go bankrupt. Maybe my investors will sue me for investing money in my organization. Maybe the name that I have made, will be ruined. So these are risks. The other risk, of course, you go bankrupt. So there are two kinds of risks. One, of course, the mental risk. If you're ready to fight the challenges, if it doesn't really bother you, then go ahead. Second is analyzed risk. You know that there is a good chance or a very less chance for you to perform in the existing market. Go ahead with it. I can talk more about it. Now, the second thing is, so when you've convinced yourself that you can take risks, then you should get down on writing your vision. My vision was to provide the best of event services to the brands and in the cheapest cost possible, right? So that was my vision, to reach out to the brands. And then accordingly, I set my mission that for 3 months. So once you've written your vision, you have to go ahead with your mission. Now, there's a difference between two. Sometimes we confuse, but there is a difference between the two. In mission, you will, chart your plan of action for 3 months. So when I started my organization, my only mission was to first connect with people across the market, whom I had really identified. Then my another 3-month mission was to reach out to them and get whatever business I can from them. And third level, I really went on actually analyzing my profit that I make out of all those businesses that I did in past 3 months. So that would be a mission. I'm trying to make you understand in simple ways. I can take various case studies to make you understand that in very deep. Third is decide your values. Yes. Now values are very important. Sometimes these values can actually be your USPs, unique selling point, or also known as unique selling proposition. Values are very important. There are companies in my field who had brands from last 10 years. Say an X brand was with the company for last 10 years. In 11th year, I was able to crack that business and bring that company on board in my organization, because I had some core values which they could actually see. One of the values is that go big or go home of 99 Place. One of the other values, aspire to inspire before you expire. So you can go on my website and check it out. So when you have these values, you follow the same values in your business. And when clients, brands like Britannia, when brands like Anytime Fitness, in my case, when brands like Adobe could see those values being followed by a company in event industry, they actually regarded my proposal and gave me an opportunity. So vision is what you write down, what you have to do. How do you solve a problem? What is that problem? Mission is how do you solve it? You break in a day, in a month, in few months, in few years, and then you go ahead with it. And values is how you move. Values is what will define you. Sometimes this can be your USP. If people know that you do not compromise, with quality, you will straight away ask for money. They will give it to you. So as I said, unique selling proposition is very, very important. Uber was already there, but still Ola got incepted. You know, uh, same goes with Paytm. Same goes with your private universities across the market. You know, they always have some unique selling proposition in them. So what makes you stand different in the market will actually help you sell your brand, sell your services, or sell your product. Say in my case, मैं अपने केस में बहुत सिंपली समझाता हूँ. मैंने दो चीजें शुरू से बात करी है. एक, मैं सेम अपॉर्चुनिटी कम पैसे में करता हूँ. दूसरा, मेरी कंपनी यंग है, तो हम इतने एस्पिरेशनल हैं कि वो सारी सर्विसेज हम बेस्ट वे में करते हैं. से अगर मैंने मार्कअप किया है दैट आउट ऑफ 500 आई एम गोइंग टू अर्न 50 रुपीज, और मुझे एक समय सर्टेन टाइम आता है जहाँ पे आई फील दैट आई स्टिल हैव टू स्पेंड 10 more rupees and get the work done so that to ensure good quality, I will spend that. But the same value is not there with every other big companies. This is one reason I can tell you about few brands which has actually embraced us for this point. So sometimes cost effective work in with the best of quality can actually be a unique selling proposition. Now one more thing that make us stand unique now in the market from past 1 year in I'm talking about 99 Phase, my organization. So as an event company, what do? You plan events and organize events, correct? But in a production house, you only provide elements. So in my case, I used to plan an event, and the stuff that I used to install, say sound, light, stage, security panels and everything, I used to take these elements on rent from my vendors. So often I used to lose business because I couldn't match my cost with the client's budget. So what I did, I went on to acquire my own items, and I did not have to depend further on my vendors. जो काम मुझे कोई 50 रुपीज में दे रहा था, मैं उसको नहीं कर पाया क्योंकि शायद 50 रुपीज मेरी लागत ही है. That is my internal cost. अगर वो मैच नहीं होता, if you don't make profit, you won't work. I lost few businesses. What I did, I acquired those elements, and instead of taking those elements on rent, I went on to use those elements in my very own events that I plan and organize for my clients. So what happened, out of those 50%, out of those 50 rupees, I started making more profit. So say if I'm getting a job for 50 rupees, I take everything on rent on 40 rupees and I earn 10 rupees from client, by installing all these items. But now in the present scenario, मैं पूरे item को अपने company से लगाता हूँ, अपने production house से, and I'm able to increase my profit margin. See, where I was earning 10 rupees, now I'm able to earn 20 rupees. So that is a unique selling proposition कि मैं cost effective हो रहा हूँ, quality compromise नहीं हो रहा है, और वो सारे element जो चाहिए client को अपने marketing के लिए, अपने event के लिए, and these events matter for brands. So I'm able to sell out my product and services in a very simple way, I've told you. Now, before you move ahead, you also need to do your market research. Yes. So if you have a plan, an idea, you've set your vision, you have set your mission, and you have set your values, and you have something to go ahead with in 5 months down the line from now. But before that, you also need to understand your market very, very well. When I say understand your market, I mean that you research about your competitors or existing brands. Number two, you research about the customers and their likabilities. What they like, what they haven't been liking. So that way you make your not to-do list and to-do list to start your company. So you do your market research and then you move. When you've done your market research now, you will have to have a way to market yourself. How do you reach out to your consumers? Say in my example, my target audience are actually marketing managers of various companies, of Anytime Fitness, of Sharda University, of Britannia, of Adobe. I'm reaching out to these marketing managers. But how do I reach out to them? One thing that I did is that I went on printing a brochure. So these are traditional ways. There are many new ways to do it. And I'm sure you are learning those ways as a media student. I went on to print a brochure. I made a very short introductory video of my organization, and I went ahead with it, and I floated that in the WhatsApp groups. I sent few creatives and videos over the emails to my potential clients, and that is how I reached to them. The other ways are which different companies opt for, and of which we become part. So you have new media to reach out to people. You go for digital marketing, social media campaign. You go for Google AdWords. You can do it organically even on your pages. So there are various ways. I'm sure you were reading that out. I detailed just. So now comes very important part. To start any business, you need fund, and there are various ways to raise fund. In my case, I actually went on bringing in partners who would actually spend in money. So I said, I have my mind, I don't have money. You have money, you invest money. So I would actually contribute by running the organization, by bringing in more business, and by handling the entire operations of my company. And you just spend money and keep a track of account. That was one way, simple way I went ahead with. However, I would say it was still a part of seed funding. So there are two ways by which you raise fund. One is, of course, seed funding. So you get little money. Say you want to start your organization, you need your website, you need your page, which is for free. Website needs costing, to get it built. So for that, you need some amount. You need to do an office setup. You would like to hire few employees, in case you are going ahead with the option of opting for few employees. So you need funding. So that comes by angel investors. They invest, and that is sometimes called seed funding or angel investing. So these angel investors are primarily the CEOs and founders of bigger companies. So in case of Paytm, you must have heard that a lot of money, comes by Alibaba. So initially they came in as angel investors. So you can have a company founder. I'm saying this in the simplest way. You can have company founders and directors to come in and invest in your business, and for that you allot equity to them. And as you grow, the value of that equity grows, and that is what they have actually earned. And I can tell you more had I got some more time. Now, the other one is venture capitalism. Venture capital is actually the huge money that you require. Say you want to start, in case of Go Mechanic, let's say, I know they first wanted to have some 100 or 200 crores. Now that's a huge money that only a founder cannot give it. So there are, venture capital companies which actually collects money from various investors and keep it under one roof, under a company. And anybody who has very good idea and can show the value of the company, the venture capitalist will actually invest in your company. And again, you allot equity to them. In case you have more questions, you can ask me. I'm moving ahead.
That you shared about the seed money and the venture capital, because that is something which a lot of students face a problem with. To point out that students of Sharda University have got some. Yeah, so incubator, we have an incubator in Sharda University for startups. So students specifically who want to establish their own company and are falling short of money, there is another option that we have for them. I mean, Sharda can fund those proposals which are very good, and they would always have a soft corner for their own students.
Correct. So that is what I was telling was fundamentals, and of course every university have this incubator and accelerator in the organization, so as to focus on startups which can actually get incepted in the campus as well. So yes, and before I move ahead with the question and answer session, few things, allow me to please tell all these youngsters and kids that I have been following, and many of these big shots that have actually been following to become one good individual, one successful entrepreneur, or went on running a successful enterprise. So these are a few, so there's nothing secret about it really. But yes, this formula has worked. This formula will work. And it's very simple. One by one, I'm going to talk about it. So what you read here is called do less. Now, बहुत लोग ये सोच रहे होंगे यार कितना करना पड़ता है, बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. What is he saying? Yes, do less. So there's a very deep meaning of it, and you have to understand it very well. When I say do less, I mean to tell you that you do not have to do everything and many things at the same time. You have to identify one problem that you want to go ahead with. that for which you want to find a solution. I will show you a video which will make you understand what I mean to say. And after that, I will express it more. Give me a moment, please. I will share the same. So this is one of the events that I organized in Chandigarh last year. But there was a speaker who came in and who trained people who are franchisee owners. So I wanted to watch this video for a minute and see what I'm trying to tell you guys.
The biggest thing, if you want to have a mindset to grow your business and to grow your life is to do less, do that less very well, and be super disciplined in doing that less very well. That even if on a Sunday, if your brain behaves like a Monday, what's the point of you having a Sunday?
We are not selling membership. We are selling an experience.
So I think you've seen it. So that is Mr. Akash Gautam, somebody who's learned a lot and charges around 2.5 lakhs for 1.5 hour session. He said, if you want to do something great in life, you don't have to do many things or something very extra. You have to do one thing, and that is called doing less. You have to do that one thing and do that very well by staying super disciplined. So you have to do less, not many things at a time. So now the next part is, I'm sure आप कह रहे होंगे कि क्या lecture झाड़ रहे हैं, but honestly you got to be super disciplined. So I'm talking to the kids, sir. I wanted to really have a good conversation here. But anyways, so I really want people to be super disciplined. I wouldn't say that I still am somebody who's very super disciplined, but every day I try to get up and follow my routine. Yes, even in the lockdown, I'm trying to follow the same so as to keep myself boosted and keep myself very much optimistic about the future that lies beyond this pandemic. So you got to be disciplined, and if you read it here, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Friends, you want to enjoy that. You want to party that. Party like animals, doesn't matter. But when you have to show up in work, get up, plan it, and work it out. One of the very fundamental thing that people miss out in life is that they have an idea, they start working for it, but they forget taking care of themselves. And that's the worst thing people do. Long back, I used to follow the very same trade, but exactly almost 1.5 years ago, I could see my health drowning, and I felt that I need to consult a dietitian, and I went to a doctor. Then I got to know all I have to do is I have to involve myself in physical activity. So I used to travel a lot in car, have meetings, have coffees and stuff. I wouldn't eat healthy food. I wouldn't work out. So workout and eating a proper diet, taking proper diet is also a very essential part of your life. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, this is something that you can't miss out. So do it for life, people. No matter what happens, this third thing, no matter what happens, you fight with your family. Sorry to hear that. You have some biggest problem. Sorry to hear that. But when you have to run an enterprise, when you have to manage a team, when you have to act and work like a leader or as a manager, get up, dress up, and show up. Many of the youngsters in the present scenario, if are missing out opportunities, it is primarily because they are not showing up. Yes, my friends, all you have to do is show up. The first thing is that you show up. ये पूरा शायरी मुझे अच्छे से याद नहीं, बट ये मैं कई बार कहता हूँ अपने दोस्तों को भी कि गुमराह वो नहीं जो मंजिल तक पहुंचे नहीं. अगर आपने कुछ स्टार्ट किया है तो गुमराह वो नहीं जो मंजिल तक पहुंचे नहीं, गुमराह वो है जो अभी तक घर से निकले नहीं. So show up. That's the first thing, and trust me, if you give that first push to yourself, the rest will follow. Now the next thing is, I really wanted to have a conversation over here, but anyways, it's one side right now. So we all want to do big in life. But I learned this long back from one of the speakers, and I really want to reiterate here. We all want to do big in life, and I could understand what big really is and how do you do big in life. So all these three alphabets stand for three different things, right? What the B stands for the book. So it means that you have to learn and act accordingly. So it is said, be the book that you read. That means you have to learn. So yes, every day I try and read books. minimum of 20 pages a day is what I target. Even if I have to play, even if I have to work the whole day, I make sure that I read at least 20 pages a day. That makes me finish 2 books in a month. On an average, a book comprises of 300 pages. So be the book that you read. I is for individual. Yes, my friends, I tell you one more thing. All you have to do in life is to read book and travel, or go into networking sessions and meet individuals. Now, when you meet them, they have to be good peers. They have to be good people. वो कहते हैं ना, you tell me your friends and I'll tell you about your future. So have good friends who inspires you. And when you meet this individual, try and act and be like them. I can give examples. G stands for set a goal. A man without an aim is not less than an animal, with due respect. If you don't have a goal in life, you just think you will get off, you will work somewhere, and you'll manage, you eat, and that is how you're going to stay happy. That's not going to help you. So my goal was to stay happy by doing what I really love. And so I went on to, organize events in college. And later when I passed out my college, I went on to organize event and earn my living out of it. And not only living, I have good name and I'm getting much more opportunities in life. So be the book that you read, be the individual that you meet, and set a goal for yourself. That is how you do big in your life. So feel free to connect, and I would love to take questions from your side.
So students, any questions so far? If anyone has any questions, please.
There is a question from Harshil. Okay, he's saying that during this pandemic, travel industry has lost many things apart from profit. So what government can do, or what the people who are in travel industry can do to minimize this?
See, the first thing, my friend Harshil, I'll tell you one thing. So not only hotel industry, but the entire event entertainment industry is also here. I'm also a biggest part of it. Every day, I am analyzing the reports that I'm reading on in the news. And what I could understand, see, this is not an expert advice, you should take it as, but the hotel industry is hit. The least the government can do, two things. Every industry or every business has something which is taken as a loan from banks. Her industry mein, her business, maximum businesses I'm talking about, they run on the loans that is taken from banks or some of the private investors. So I think those banks, which is of course ruled by RBI, and RBI of course is taken care by the government of India. So they can perhaps come up with a policy. So this moratorium has been given. But my dear friend, I tell you, moratorium is not really helping me or many others like me, because we at first thought these 3 months will be counted as zero period where we wouldn't really be charged any interest. But we are being charged interest on our existing loans. So I think government can actually give a moratorium and the period can actually be considered as zero period. I think this is the first thing that they can do. Second is the ITR returns that are pending at the government side. I think if they can be quick enough, however they've announced, but even I am somebody who hasn't received it yet. So this is the initial help that they can give. The government can actually initiate those ITR returns, to all these companies. And third, I think there has to be some tax rebate, that can be given to the industry. And very honestly, I'll tell you one thing, even government is still sitting and trying to understand what they can actually do in terms of helping the industry, because it is just not one industry. It is almost every industry except for pharmaceuticals, except for, I would say, the government organizations. Every other private industry has taken a hit from this pandemic. So, even in your college case, if you talk about dental college, now they can't treat patients, because they treat people in the mouth. Everything that they operate happens in the mouth. So they can't treat it, So these are things that the government is still considering and figuring out what to do. So what I understand, I have given 3 options that the government can actually do and help us. Plus, we of course insist and request and hope that the government and the government's bio labs will actually come up with a vaccine which will help us get in comfort zone where we can really imagine that 2 months down the line from now everything will start being normal. So that is the best we can do. Yes.
Anurag, our Dean ma'am has a question. Okay, she wants to tell your experience in the Department of Mass Communication, Sharda University.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, thank you so much and good evening. I hope you're doing good and happily sustaining this lockdown.
Yeah, I hope you too.
Yes,
And
well,
thank-
trying to.
And thank you so much for coming and sharing your experience. I'm sure the students are going to learn a lot from this, because this is eventually, that's what I keep emphasizing: be an employer instead of being an employee. So that is what I tell them.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is always literally a pleasure, and I'm saying this from the core of my heart, to come back and contribute to my very own department and university. It is always a pleasure. With due respect, ma'am, but even employers need good employees. So also insist on making good managers. I need a good team. I can't do everything. I do less. So yes. So when it comes to my experience, very honestly, बहुत क्विकली कोशिश करूंगा, हालांकि बहुत जल्दी करना पड़ रहा है, बट आई ट्राई
कुछ अच्छा बताओ ना, बच्चों को इंस्पिरेशन मिले।
कॉलेज में मैं थोड़ा रेवोल्यूशनरी था, और यहाँ पे थोड़ी डांट पड़ सकती है. These are still my deans and faculties, so ex भले लग गया है, लेकिन they still are as my mentors. So I was somebody who was very revolutionary in terms of approaches. So if I did not enjoy anything, I wouldn't really do it. I first thought to get into law, but then I jumped up in mass comm, because शारदा में उस टाइम law आ नहीं पाया था, इसलिए मैंने mass comm join कर लिया था. And luckily, I think वो कहते हैं ना कि मन का हो तो अच्छा, ना हो तो और भी अच्छा. And when I landed in this mass communication department, I could see that there are a lot of things that interests me. Speaking was one thing. घर में हमेशा complain आता था, ये बोलता बहुत है. And that is why maybe I'm one of the very known anchor in the industry. Now my mother is happy because she gets check from my side. She sees me earning out of my speaking. So I was revolutionary in terms of my approach. If I don't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. That was my approach. So out of 100% class, 90% को attend करता था, push में चाहे जिसमें, बाकी 10% सर मैम को पटाकर बनाकर, मुक्ता मैम ने चेहरा दिखा दिया अपना, उनको याद है. तो मैं इनको पटाकर और अपने इवेंट पे चला जाता था. So I used to enjoy organizing events a lot. Plus, I used to enjoy anchoring those events a lot. And it was just not about being a leader in the field, but I loved making connections by organizing those events. And I made some professional network while I was still a kid back in college. When I moved out of college, those people who organized event in my college became my friends. Now they're my competitors. They hate me in a bit because I organize Sharda's event now. So I made some professional contacts that helped me outside. And while I was doing all of these things, I was gaining confidence, and of course the books that I read, the people I met, the mentors who mentored me, my faculties, and the then vice chancellor, they personally used to mentor me, and I loved the way they actually trained me. So that made me, go ahead with everything I wished for. So in short, वो सारी चीजें करी जो मजा आया, जिसमें इवेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइज करना, एंकरिंग करना, और कनेक्शन बनाना, नेटवर्क बनाना, नाम कमाना. नाम किसको अच्छा नहीं लगता. तो शारदा में कुछ खिताबें जीती हमने, तो वो बहुत मजा आया. उसके बाद जब बाहर के फील्ड में आए, माय फ्रेंड, लाइफ इज नॉट वेरी इजी, लेट मी टेल यू. बट व्हेन आई लैंडेड आउटसाइड, it wasn't really a cakewalk. I had to start my career with a call center. Sorry to say that, but this happened because I wasn't really somebody who wanted to get into print section or TV section, which was easily available in my department as an opportunity. But I wanted to land in event industry, and event industry happens to be very unorganized. But I did not give up. I started from a call center. I worked for 3 months. I got some awards, but then I got kicked off because I said a lot of thank you. By the way, this happened. I said a lot of thank you on call, so I was kicked out of my job, saying you say a lot thank you. So itna zyada thank you ki zarurat nahi hai, and that made me score less. So I was pulled out of the job. But 3 months I sustained somehow by earning good money. I took a small house, ek kamre ka, and I sustained with those money that I earned. And later I started looking for opportunities. So few of my ex-faculties of Sharda who left while I was in final year. So I was in touch with them. They helped me. Abhishek Srivastav sir, he helped me getting a job. So few people helped me getting a job. But somewhere down the line, after working for a few months, I had this instinct in myself, I can't do this, I cannot just be a sales guy. So I joined as a BD guy. So I speak a lot. They said, you can sell. So up sales mein aa jao, sales head ban jao. I took it for the money that I was getting. But later I said, no, I'm not enjoying this as well. It wasn't that I don't want a boss. It was just because I wasn't enjoying just being a sales guy. I thought if I can do sales, and if I have good contacts, say, of vendors, I will get a business myself and I will organize it myself. Then I did not know funding kaise lani hai, kya karna hai. So I by hook or crook, I got, the job. Then I left it after a few months, and I landed up starting my own organization called MAP Events and Entertainment Private Limited. So 99 Plays is primarily becoming a group now, under which I have 3 different companies altogether. So I started with MAP Events and Entertainment Private Limited, later rebranded it as 99 Plays so that people can remember. So I, by the good means, through good ways, I got some business and I started organizing it. I started making money. I started making names. And then I started reaching out to people who actually loved my ideas, and they started investing in my company. They came in as partners. They're doing some other stuff now, but initially they invested in my company and I got a lot of help. Other than that, I made a profile of mine, and there was a senior of mine, Kanish Tyagi. I don't know if you guys know him, but I know a few of you would be knowing him, other than faculties, of course. So Kanish helped me, get a name in anchoring as well, initially. And so I got one opportunity anchoring for a cigarette brand called Red and White, but I made good money out of that anchoring, and I learned that this is also a great opportunity I could go for. So I started anchoring for various brands. So I started with Red and White, then I went on to anchor for Nickelodeon Channel, Britannia, and many other brands like this. Now, if you talk of 100 brands, maybe 80 brands I've worked for as an anchor, or maybe I'm organizing events. So I started anchoring for various brands. So now, running an enterprise and being an anchor, I made a lot of connections, and those connections are actually helping me survive and sustain today. And of course, I started reading a lot, which gives me insight by which I learn every day. And, I'm able to sum up every day what I have to do and what I have to achieve in life. So yeah, bit of a rigorous journey I've had, but still a long, long way to go, brother. Long, long way.
Oh, it's a very inspirational journey, and I'm sure as a young budding journalist and entrepreneurs who are listening to this will be absolutely inspired, because they learn more from immediate seniors. Real life experience is what they learn from.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. I have Prateek over here. Prateek happens to be from BTech. उसने trespassing करी अभी मैम, infiltrate किया है. उसको link दे दिया था मैंने. So Prateek happens to be founder of Terracell Technologies. And why I'm naming him right now is because I have friends like Prateek. Prateek was 1 year senior to me, but at times we sit, we analyze market. I get to learn from him. He sometimes asks me for my suggestions, and that way we are enjoying our life. So make real good connections, read a lot, travel, and always have a mentor to mentor us, to get mentoring. Yes. And thank you so much, ma'am. I think I will aspire to inspire before I expire.
Don't
Anurag, there is a question from Prajita Anusri, final year student. Prajita, I think you know her.
I know her.
She is asking how to pitch clients for wedding events.
Not an expert for it, Aprajita. Honestly, I run an event company, Aprajita. But even in events, there are various segments. So if I talk about my event company, we primarily take care of 2 verticals in event, which is corporate and which is colleges. Okay. And what you're talking about comes under social. So those are called social events. However, I have a bit of understanding for wedding. First thing that you need to do is you need to have a good vendor base before you move ahead with the pitch. Because before you want to pitch, when you have these vendor, you go to a client, say Ritu ma'am is a rich person, and you say, I'm your student, you can start from here. I'm your student, you have to get me a job. Now she'll ask you why she should believe on you or give business to you, even though she's talking.
That's what I'm asking them exactly. This is
आपको vendor base strong करना होगा, और vendor base का मतलब सिर्फ ये नहीं जो stage sound light लगाता है. Wedding में सबसे बड़ा जो element होता है वो होता है पूरा का पूरा decor. वो स्टेज का डेकोर होता है, वो फ्लावर का डेकोर होता है, ठीक है, वो एंट्री होती है, वो एग्जिट होती है, वो क्या टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करेंगे, पंडित कैसे आएगा, हाउ द इंटायर स्ट्रक्चर लुक लाइक, ये एक बहुत बड़ा एलिमेंट होता है वेडिंग में। क्योंकि वेडिंग में आप किसी कॉर्पोरेट पर्सन से डील नहीं करते हैं, आप फूफा चाचा ताया, शायद इसलिए मैं काम भी नहीं करता हूँ उधर, क्योंकि वो आपका पतला प्याज कटते हुए तक नोट करेंगे, समझ के मोटे प्याज कटते हुए। तो यू नीड टू कन्विंस देम, सो यू नीड टू हैव समबडी हु बैक्स यू फॉर the kind of decoration you need in wedding. So first have a good vendor base. Those vendors will actually help you. Like I got help from my vendors, senior vendors of the industry. They're much more, rich guys in the industry, and they have helped me. They are much more in age. They are of 70 years or 75 years, and they have been my partners. So get good vendor base, and then go ahead for pitching. The vendors will really help you. And if you have any specific question in that, you may ask me that.
Anurag, there is a question from Mahmoodul Hassan. This is last question. Okay, final year MA.
No worries.
Okay. He's asking that IBM Institute for Business and Oxford University says that 90% of Indian startups fail within 5 years. Okay.
Correct.
The main reason is being lack of innovation and marketing research and also products. So how you perceive this gap and how this can be eradicated?
You have answered your question yourself. Two things that you mentioned out of the research that you done. One is, because of lack of innovation and market research they fail. So you understand these are two important elements that you need to ensure, right? So for any good enterprise to start and become successful, there are three things required. One is, of course, the great idea, or the idea which I said problem solving hona chahiye. Correct? Okay. So, yes. So that is required. Then innovation is required. You getting the point?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Correct? So you have an idea, but there has to be an innovative way to do it. And at the present scenario, trust me, now almost all the problems of the world has been solved, or people are actually thinking about it. So there is nothing new that we are going and doing. I'm not talking to the brilliant minds. They can come up with something much better. I'm not of that category. But you need to have good idea, and it has to be done in an innovative way. And third, of course, you need market research. If you don't do it, you will not be able to sustain it. But trust me, when you have a good idea and you are trying and doing it in an innovative way, और मैं इसको और सरल करता हूँ, इनोवेशन कई बार मतलब ये नहीं होता कि बल्ब जला देना होता है, या बल्ब को 100 पावर वॉट को एलईडी में कन्वर्ट कर देना होता है, बल्कि इनोवेशन का मतलब कई बार अप्रोच भी होता है. मेरे केस में बहुत सारे इनोवेशन नहीं होते. दो ही चीज है, एक मैं कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव होकर क्वालिटी दे सकता हूँ, और दूसरा मैं टेक्नोलॉजी ओरिएंटेड इवेंट्स करा सकता हूँ. सो मे बी दीज आर टू वेज आई एम ट्राइंग एंड बीइंग इनोवेटिव इन माय फील्ड, राइट? एंड हाउ आई एम डूइंग इट, अगेन due to the market research that I keep doing, or my team keeps doing. So I read, अगर मुझे कोई चीज डिस्प्ले करना है एक कॉन्फ्रेंस में, ठीक है, तो मैं उसको कैसे कर सकता हूँ. तो मुझे पता चलता है कि एलईडी मैपिंग होती है कोई चीज, करेक्ट? आपने देखा होगा कि एक पूरा वॉइस ओवर चलता है, और एक एलईडी स्क्रीन पे वो पिक्चर्स आते हैं, बनते हैं, उठते हैं, बैठते हैं, बड़े बड़े स्क्रीन पे होते हैं. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट वो एलईडी मैपिंग है. तो ये एलईडी मैपिंग अब कई सारे स्कूल्स, कॉलेजेस, इनफैक्ट वन ऑफ माय क्लाइंट इन देहरादून टुक इट फ्रॉम अस. सो मुझे ये पता है कि मार्केट में हो रहा है, गेटिंग द पॉइंट. और ये कितने कंपनीज कर चुके हैं? तो 2 बड़ी कंपनीज है. वो इसलिए कर चुके हैं कि उनके पास बड़े क्लाइंट्स और इसमें बहुत पैसा लगता है. सो पीपल ऑफ कोर्स हु हैव टू गेट इनोवेटिव थिंग्स विल हैव टू स्पेंड. अभी इनोवेशन भी कॉस्ट करता है, यू नो इट. सो I keep researching about what is coming new in my industry, and I keep trying and I keep including those ideas in my pitch that I go ahead with for my clients for their events. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anurag, for sharing your experience. And I have I will share my experience that I have seen Anurag working during chorus, and he is totally involved. He works like maniac. He's everywhere, every time, everywhere. So it is his energy and his knowledge which due to which he is here. And thank you once again, Anurag. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anurag, for taking time out and guiding our students. And obviously, as I said before, what the seniors say makes a lot of difference. And I'm sure that you'll rise, and so will you take the entire students also with you. and may you succeed in your business, and may you become an example for our students of SMFE. And once the lockdown is over, I would like to invite you physically to come studio.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. As I said, it is certainly always a pleasure to come back and contribute in my own department. Also, friends, again, just one thing that I would like you guys to remember: आप entrepreneur बन जाओगे, उसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. Go ahead with this big formula in your life. Read books, meet individuals. So keep traveling and meet individuals, and set a goal for yourself. The rest, everything will follow. And of course, you have your seniors to consult with, faculties, teachers, your good friends, your good peers, and of course, seniors of the colleges. Keep doing it. My best wishes are there. You can feel free to connect with me over LinkedIn, Insta, or Facebook. I can answer questions if you have there. Personally, I've been doing it for a couple of your seniors or your mates. Few of them have interned in my organization, or few are still working. Some of your alumni are still working in my organization. Thank you so much.
Okay,
All the best to everyone.
Thank you, Anurag.
Thank you,
Ritu, ma'am.
sirs. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anurag.
Okay, thank you, Anurag.